It's okay. I'm at 844 Hawthorne Drive. We're doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. There are multiple access points, but only one usable at this point. We tried to go through the roof stack, and it's rusted enough. It's cast iron. It's rusted enough to where I can't get the camera through. It is open and flowing, but it doesn't have enough. It's not open enough to be able to get the camera through. There's also a clay clean out on the rear left corner that is we were unable to get out without damaging the clay, so we're going to try to avoid that. And now we are going through the clean out in the front yard to the left of the house, and we're going to try to go both directions. So first we're going to try to go upstream back towards the house, and we're going to see if we can make it all the way into the house. So I'll show you. Here is the clean out. There is the house. And double check. This is clay. Okay, now we are going upstream. You can see the water coming back into the face of the camera. We are just hoping we can make it roughly 70 to 80 feet. The footage counter on this obviously is going to be a little off now because of the vertical. This is 6 to 8 feet down, but the numbers are just a reference. If I do find any issues, I'm able to locate them exactly. The camera does have a sonde, and we're able to locate the exact location and depth. And so the footage is basically a reference to use for the report. So far everything looks really good. The seams are nice and tight. See, with the clay, there's only 3-foot sections, so there's just a lot of seams. You can see. A little tiny bit of root intrusion. There's only one tree that's within distance for the roots, but clay is known to allow root intrusion just because of having so many connections over the years. This probably had rubber packing around the joints, so if that's the case, those do a little bit better than the old tar packing. That stuff usually shrinks and deteriorates, and then roots get in real easy. But this so far looks like there's very, very minimal intrusion. Just a little tiny bit more. Nothing I've seen so far would even be worth trying to clean, because you'd try to put something through here and it would just basically just knock it around. A little bit of water here. Nothing surprising. Camera lens is only a half an inch off the bottom of the pipe, so even having water on the front of the camera isn't a concern. So I think based off of these turns, I should be getting close to the house. Okay, we have a Y here. And if you look straight, that Y is covered in, has some roots and has some debris there. I'm kind of wondering if this Y is even used coming straight. That may be a clean out access that was put in behind the turn. And so I'm going to pause the video for a second, turn on the sonde, and we're going to check to see exactly where this is so we can verify whether or not this is a used line or just the back edge of a clean out. Okay, so looks like we're in the very back of the house. We're going to see what direction the camera goes, but I think it's coming out from the right is where the water is coming out, which would mean this is abandoned here, because this used to be an old sink line, I believe. You can see from the right as the water's coming out, that is the kitchen sink, and this used to be, yeah, see, this used to be the kitchen sink line ahead. Now this line looks like it turns and looks like this line's abandoned, which is good news. We saw this stuff in there. We just wanted to make sure that this line was abandoned. So the kitchen sink is the furthest thing over. It probably used to be tied in ahead. Maybe at one time it was separated because of the septic system. They may have had the septic system, like the kitchen sink, a lot of times they would have a gray water line that would just dump out onto the property before we had all these soaps, or before they ever knew about it anyway. But it looks like the entire line is used. Wish we could get it to turn right there, but I am going to leave this recording. I'm going to go inside. We're going to flush the toilet and stuff like that and just run a bunch of water through it, because the last like 12 feet, 13 feet between here and the house, I would have to be able to make a right-hand turn right here, and with this Y, obviously it's forcing my camera to go forward. But to be able to check flow, we're going to leave the kitchen sink running. I'll probably put the bathroom sink on also, and just to check flow. But this is obviously coming from the right, so there's no longer anything coming through the line in front of us, which we were kind of expecting because of all the buildup in that line. If there was water coming through there, that wouldn't have been sitting there like that. So again, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to flush the toilet, and we'll kind of witness, so we can witness some of the flow going through the line here. So I did flush the toilet, we got the sinks running. Yeah, everything's looking good. I did talk to the home buyer about the vertical. I can actually hear the flush coming through the clean out here now. But I did talk to the home buyer about the vertical stack in the bathroom, just because it's choked down a little bit. To the point where I couldn't get my camera through it, mainly because of rust, mineral buildup from the water itself just kind of builds up on the side of that. So I do recommend to kind of watch that a little bit and make sure that that's not going to cause an issue. But everything is coming through there. So even if I was able to, the only way for me to be able to inspect that little branch there would have been to be able to get access through the roof vent. So we're just going to do this so we can witness the flow on the way back. I'm also going to look for the clean out there on the side so we can see that, because we want to be able to verify that that is a clean out. Kind of expecting there to be a little bit of root intrusion. It may be right here. Yeah, now we got enough water here where we may end up. Okay, I think that may be it right there. There's a lot of flow. So I think what I'm going to do here, so there's a little bit of root, so it is something that you do want to pay attention to. There is the clean out there. If you look up in the top right hand corner, there is an opening, and that's where some of these roots are getting in. That is where the clean out is located. It's above ground, so it's visible and the home buyer has seen it, but there is the access point. And so watching the flow as we go, like I mentioned before, even having this thing covered, it was uncovered when the water wasn't flowing, and now the water flowing back into its into the face of the camera. The fact that it's not covering the camera a lot more shows you how well it's functioning. We have a little bit more roots. None of this is uncommon, it's just something you want to pay attention to. So I would recommend 3 to 5 years with a limited amount of roots that are in it now. Somewhere in like 3 to 5 years, you may want to have this re-inspected, just to check to see kind of the growth rate of the roots, and make sure that it's not, that they're not growing to the point of the possibility of catching things to clog the line or anything like that. But again, roots are common in old clay lines, but looks like this one's holding up pretty well. We could see it on the way out. This is kind of obscured there with just a little bit of water there, half an inch of water. Structurally, the line looks great. Okay, I'm pulling out into the clean out. I am vertical now, as you can see the water going by. So I'm going to try to turn around here, and we're going to go downstream now. There we go. We'll check the rest of the line. Now from here on out, this actually should be the responsibility, the maintenance responsibility of like the county, or I think we're outside of the Metropolitan Sewer District's area. So think we'll, but we do want to make sure, because sometimes in the county or the township you just never really know how much they cover. Okay, and we are out into the main. So main is most likely in the center of the road based off of the footage from here. I think we started at about 20 feet, so we're only about well, maybe 10 to 15 feet past this clean out is where the main is. So I actually think it's right here on this side of the street, so it's just before it goes into the street. Here is where the manhole, or I mean where the sewer main is. So the line looked really good. Structurally everything was good. Have a little bit of root intrusion, again not a major, very, very minimal amount of roots. We had a little bit of restraint on what we could look at as far as the first 10 to 15 feet of 10 to 15 feet of pipe that obviously we were unable to see just because we couldn't force the camera to turn back towards the house, and we were unable to go through the roof vent. But the line itself structurally looked great. I'm pretty happy with it, and only things to note were some small roots, so I would have it re-inspected in a few years just to kind of check the growth rate of the roots and make sure that they're not causing any issues. And then on top of that, if the bathroom sinks start to run slow, or the laundry, I believe that's all tied in that stack in between the bathroom and the laundry room, and so you want to kind of monitor that too. If that starts to run slow, you could have to have somebody come in and probably go through the roof, or if there's an access point, I believe there may be one in the laundry room to be able to clean it, but I'll check that also. But yeah, the line looked great structurally, and so only thing to note is to just have a reinspection done in 3 to 5 years to check the root growth. But other than that, it looked great. So that'll end the inspection at 844 Hawthorne Drive.